Welcome all to season 3 of the Aelita Diaries. Year 2, in fact. Yeah, we're starting our second year. Yep, it's been 52 weeks since we started with Xana Awakens. A lot has happened since then in my personal life and on the channel. But a lot has happened in the show. A little context before we begin with Straight of Heart proper. Straight of Heart would Straight to Heart would not take nearly as long as the transition between the end of season one false start and the beginning of season 2 new order. But season 3 starts out rather strangely with the pilot episode in which we started with Xana Awakens. It's treated as a special, but it's given the season 3 opening and new logo. What's new about it? Well, the color's green this time. But the imagery that you see is still straight out ripped from season 2, with no season 3 footage yet added. You won't see changes to the actual scenes used in the intro until we get to season 4 proper. But it would not take nearly as long for us to get to the next season. It would take us only 9 months before we would start to see the aftermath of Xana's victory at the end of the key, which, straight to heart, instantly begins with that. Summer vacation has passed at Kadak Academy, but the fear and dread have not. Although this episode doesn't start out somber, strangely, starts out rather normal. Aelita and Yumi are playing Go. Jeremy's looking on a way to track Xana on the net. And everyone else is catching up with each other. And Odd's got a problem. But so does Yumi for that matter. The will they, won't they relationship continues abound. The horn. The false breakup. One of the also annoying things of the will they, won't they relationship. And it's here in Straight to Heart that we get this. The old, I just want to be friends with you, Jazz. To try to end the ship and end the relationship before anything really starts. Yeah, like we as fans are buying that. I didn't buy that back in 2003, and I damn sure am not buying it in 2024. It's bad. It's a weak excuse and a weak way to keep the drama of Rick and Yumi still piping hot. Like there isn't enough drama as it is with Xana running around the internet. He might just hack your Facebook account. I kid. But still, there's much larger threats than watching these two try to fake break up. The one with the real problem, though, is Odd. Odd this semester is not teamed up with the team, which might cause an issue. The other the other teammates don't really care about this, not as much. Man, they definitely don't care on how Odd wants to solve it. Some straight up blackmail. using footage from Jim Morales' failed movie Paco the King of Disco to try to blackmail himself back into the class. And he's got the footage and everything and is ready to use it. My God, do they teach these kids anything normal in this school? Lock picking, escaping from restricted areas, trespassing, computer hacking, and now blackmail. You would think these kids should be working for the freaking CIA at this point because they'd be great CIA agents. But I digress. Odd's plot is interrupted when Jeremy's got a solution. But he notices a problem on Leoka proper, more appropriately, Sector 5. So it's off to Leoka again to try to figure out what Xana's up to. By the way, CGI has been slightly improved. Animation is brighter. The edges on the computer models are somewhat fixed, and there are a lot smooth, smoother and more bold colors for everyone. As noted, this will be the last season of these original virtual forms. Let me state that right off the top. So, let these next 13 episodes and discussions be our proper farewell to the original forms before we get to the sleeker, cooler, and still to this day modernized version of them in season 4 proper. But when they get to Sector 5, it's just another easy to do core zone puzzle. One that Aelita actually presses the button for. Odds off his game because blackmail scheme, and well, Auric is doing Auric style sulking, just hanging on the words, just friends. But when that is over and done, we discover something else. An entry pathway underneath the core dome. One that the Leoka warriors fight their way through, and it shows some pretty cool and stylish skill on his way there. But once we get there, we discover what Xana's after, or more or less attacking with all of its forces. The core of Leoko itself, protected by two protective shields. Now, of course, this is our end game mechanic this season. Now, normally I would be all up in arms, but this is part of the reason why season 3 is referred to by me, as these episodes will be, as the 13 Ghost. This is a rather general and rather simple seasonal arc, unlike the last two. It's pretty much keep Lyoko alive or everyone dies. Simple, right? And you would think the show writers would do something complex with this rush for survival, but no, as we'll find out, they don't. One of the reasons season 3 is largely forgotten about is it's rather boring, uninteresting, even for Kolyoko standards. Path to the end. It almost becomes formulaic, as you'll find out, in a rather brutal and rather formulaic conceit. And you won't have to wait long for the conceit to take hold. Just next week, the conceit will take hold in Lyoko -1. And trust me, it's not as interesting as one would think it is. Basically, gone is the tower, the weak structure that has made up this series thus far, as you'll find out, and replaced with something far worse. But in the battle for the core zone, well, at least this one, two things are discovered. One, well, they're both Aelita focused. One, Aelita now has an offensive maneuver. Yes, she's got an offensive move. And just like anything with the Hopper family, it has to be broken as all shit. The energy fields. Her signature offensive attack is essentially a supercharged electromagnetic field that stuns and destroys. And here's the real kicker, it's on contact with most monsters. In fact, there are only two monsters in the entire series that are not one-shotted by this little ball of death. Every other one is a one-shot kill. She's got the Ryokian Golden Gun. And it doesn't matter what kind of body armor you got, you're going down hard. Of course, she doesn't do the Digimon thing of announcing the name of the attack yet, but she will. And every time you see it, it will hit or not hit. But know that when it hits, it's death, boys. Another thing? The good news. Now Aelita works just like all the other Lyoko warriors. No special cheat code necessary. Lose the life points? Go back. The one Aelita conceit that has made up the seasons prior is now gone. She is, in all intents and purposes, a real girl. And this will come in handy, but not this season, unfortunately. But it will most certainly come in handy. That's the good news. As far as Odd's blackmailing plot, he decides to wuss out on it and give the dust back. But after a minor explanation of why he would even go through the problem, Jin sees what he can do. Translated, he's not going anywhere, and I mean definitely not anywhere at all. Period. He's sticking with his class. You'll find that out in Lyoko -1. So essentially, the status quo, sans the two Aelita changes, is pseudo exactly the same. Nothing has changed here, sadly, other than the just friends minutia. Unlike Teddy Godzilla, that makes a grand first impression of Xana's powers and introduces our teammates, and even the Xana Attack Special that does a good job at introducing our characters and the main conceit, and even New Order that introduces, well, the virtual vehicles, the tarantulas, the Hermitage former Hopper family home, everything of the key mystery that would make up the brilliance of what season 2 is and was. Straight to Heart does none of this. You wouldn't even know that a new season has technically begun, based on how mundane, boring, and uninteresting this is. If this was part of the season 2 lineup, you wouldn't even bat an eyelash. It's one of those middling episodes that are just like the middling episodes of season 2. This doesn't feel like a proper Lyoko opener, which is part of the problem of why this season is forgotten. Nothing feels right, and it feels not right off of the top of things. Straight to Heart gets a 3 out of 6 for how middling and how unimportant it is, considering the stakes have never been higher, and it's almost like the show just laughs it off at the start. But don't worry, things will start to get serious and formulaic next week. It's been 1 year since I've started these. It's been one heck of a ride, and I'm not done yet. And if you're wondering if there's going to be bookmarks this season, oh boy, is there going to be some Aelita Diary bookmarks, including that one. Those videos will be coming out concurrently with the weekly episodic reviews. So some weeks you might get 2 videos a week. But until next week, I'm Nirvana Spark. Find peace in your own Nirvana, and I'll see you next week proper.